Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Romina. How are you, Romina? Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Romina, what is that brings you to Hollywood? I understand your background is you wrote a book, you act, you sing. Tell me all those secrets.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And yes, you did pronounce my name correctly. It's Romina. I came here to Los Angeles to find more work opportunity. As you know, the film industry is here, and my love is movies. I am primarily an actress, so coming to Los Angeles is a sure bet.
You've been acting or in the entertainment world since you were a kid. I seen some of your bio, and it's amazing. You've been all this time somewhere.
Yes. I've always had a love for film. I grew up in a very artistic family. My father is also an actor, and he's a painter. And for me, it was always nature, I guess.
Right, yes, yes.
It was just always natural for me. And I've grown through many interests, you know, as children always do. You know, when you're 6 years old, you want to be a fireman, and then suddenly you want to be a doctor. But for me, it was always film-related. And I took my first drama class when I was about 13 years old, and at that point was when I finally realized that I wanted to act, and I wanted to live lives that I wouldn't be able to live normally.
Correct. So it seems like having that artistic influence from your parents helped you a lot. What was the first either film or actress that you seen when you were a child? The first impact that said, oh, wow, I want to be like her or like him.
Well, I think I'm going to say that it was my father.
Of course.
I mean, you know, I used to go to set with him when I was a child,
Right.
and so for me that was really exciting, and I could see him. Like, I used to watch him in commercials and TV shows, and he'd have a family that was not us.
Right.
That was not my mother or myself, and for me that was amazing because it gave me an opportunity to be other people, you know, to play these characters and to be a goblin or to be a witch or you know, to be a wife from the 50s, you know. And it's something that you wouldn't normally be able to do and make a career out of it unless you're an actor.
What plays do you remember the most when you were a child that you participated on?
For me, I would have to say Steel Magnolias.
Yes.
I think that's a really, really great play for women. It just speaks about so many generations and so many different types of people, and it's all just like this small town kind of story, but it's a worldly story.
I like what you said about the influence that your father had on you, because sometimes the family support counts a lot on your success or the child's success, wherever they are, wherever they want to, the actress or actor want to pursue their career, they need a support, and I can understand probably your father and mother, probably a lot of support in that.
Yes, I definitely think that part of my motivation for continuing to pursue my dreams came from that initial seed, from that first inspiration of my family and coming from that kind of environment to begin with. So I knew that it was accepted, whereas I know that there's other people where they're more afraid to pursue their dreams because of their families, and it is kind of a wild dream, you know.
Correct.
But I was born into a family, luckily, that supports that kind of.
You said you came to Hollywood because it's the sort of the capital of the entertainment. Where did you come from?
I moved here from Florida.
From Florida, I see. How long ago was this?
It was a few years ago.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Do you encounter much easier here to be here, or is a very competitive environment that you find for an artist or actress of your caliber?
No, I kind of prefer not to look at it that way. I think that there's a competitive nature with any career that you try to pursue. So I try not to focus on that and think about all of the other people that are trying to get the same spot that I am, but rather just letting it come to me. And I work very hard. And when something comes to me, then it was meant to be. And when it doesn't, then it belonged to somebody else.
You deserve it because you work at it. Simple as that. I like that. Sometimes competition is good because it pushes you. But hey, if you prepare yourself, you don't need anything. I like that. You're also a writer. You wrote your first book when you were how?
I was 16 years old when I had my book of poetry published. That was definitely a feat that made me stand out.
Oh, really? Oh, really? What was it about?
Well, I wrote a bunch of different types of poems. I really tried to explore being different types of people. I guess it's something, sort of a theme in my life. And for me, it was more of experiencing what someone might be going through and writing the poem in their perspective, so that when someone who is going through something that's similar reads the poem, they can relate to it and sort of either find a resolution or find comfort that they're not alone. And I did dedicate that book to people who have ADD or ADHD, because I myself have it. So it was definitely something that, for me, it was motivation to help other people and encourage other people to be artistic and to be out there.
Would it be easier sometimes to, from your poems to become a song? Some of them are, your poems could be inspirational, and it's easy sometimes to do the jump to a musical or something like that.
I think so. I think with some poems it is, I mean, lyrics essentially what they are poetry. Right. But they just have a rhythm, a certain rhythm to them, and that's what makes them a song. And I think it just depends on what style you write the poetry with. I do know that some of my poetry could easily be made into lyrics.
So you haven't thought about that yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you have any actress or actor that you admire the most at this time? Because I ask you that because the generation is so different from my generation, and do you have anybody that really, really admire, or a role that you would like to be in or to do?
As far as type of role, I would say I'd like to experience all different roles. So far, with my career, I really strive to be able to play people far from who I am or from what I have experienced in my life. So I think that that's something that I would definitely like to keep going at. And as far as actors,
don't tell me Johnny Depp.
Well, he is a great actor, but not quite. For me, I really admire actresses that have started from where I started, you know, that came from the most primitive of their career and that built up their craft and really studied, and there's a list of people like that, like Amy Adams, Jenna Fisher,
yes.
Anne Hathaway. These are all women that I greatly admire because I saw them build their career from the ground up. And for me, that's an inspiration for myself as well as for other young women who want to build up their dreams.
Do you keep parallel the disciplines of singing and acting? Do you do both, or sort of concentrate in one of them because I heard you singing, I'm pretty sure, the national anthem. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It was amazing. I was really amazed because I have heard young people singing the national anthem in different occasions, and the high notes are, you can tell the difference when they're really forcing things, and it comes out good. But when I watched yours and my producer was showing me, it was really nice. It was natural. Do you practice your singing often, or do you have any things coming music-wise?
I do have a coach that I regularly see, and we definitely work together, and we kind of see what I'm going to do next. For me right now, I definitely am focused on my acting career, although I am starting to branch out and kind of looking for a new singing project to do. But like you said, I did sing the national anthem, and that is something that I do love to do because I get to take part in these events. I mean, the national anthem that I sang that I think you saw on YouTube was actually from an MMA fight. I normally would not be going to an MMA fight, but because I was invited to sing there, I was able to attend and experience something new, and I actually got to stay afterwards and watch the fight, and it was a new experience for me. So I definitely do want to keep doing the national anthem because it opens up opportunities for me, and it's something that I could represent my country with, you know.
And one of the national anthems that, the anthem that events that Aguilera, I think it was, somebody messed up the music or forgot the lyrics and it. What do you think about things like that happen like that? Because they are probably overexcited or overconfident, or they are losing it, meaning losing their mind, probably the lyrics or something?
I think it's natural to forget. I often worry about that myself, you know, either with acting or singing. I worry that I'll forget the words. So,
Mr. Producer, it's natural to forget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I forget things, believe me. Okay, thank you. So,
I think it's fine. I mean, I do know that she was heavily criticized for forgetting the words, but I think that maybe we shouldn't be so hard on her. I know that it's a great responsibility, and it's easy to get, like you said, overexcited or even nervous. You know, it doesn't matter at what height you are with your career, the nerves still come. It's still natural.
What do you think about distorting the music itself when they put, for instance, this guy, Tyler, yes. Mm-hmm. They distort the music badly. And do you think that's should be okay, or what do you think about it? Would you do that?
I probably wouldn't do it, but it's the way that I sing, and it's the way that I perform. But I feel that if that's your interpretation, then I respect it 100%. Who am I to say that it's incorrect?
What kind of genre do you sing? What's your type of song? Because if you're heavy, these guys are heavy metals, I think, and it would be okay if they hit their heads against the mic, and that's good then. I mean, that's what one would look at it. In your case, what's your type of music, more or less?
Well, I was actually classically trained when I first started singing. So I used to sing opera and arias. That was my genre. And slowly I've sort of transitioned into more of a musical theater scene, which includes like Julie Andrews, Judy Garland, like the standards. And I really love that kind of era. And for me, personally, I'm actually more of a fan of rock. So to have both of those worlds, I think, is something that would be really interesting to do.
Rock, soft rock, heavy metal, what kind?
All types. I'm definitely very open to all kinds of music.
I guess I'm old-fashioned. I'm out of here. How about your writing? Do you plan to write more? Do you use it as a sort of like, some people use it like as a therapy or something like that?
Well, I did just publish another a book. It was a children's book, which you can only download digitally. So it's a very unconventional way of publishing, but it's definitely something that I wanted to try out. And it was all based of characters that I created for children. So I definitely think that I will keep writing. I definitely want to keep doing more content for children, as you know, like children's books, and I do have other poetry books that I'm waiting to publish as well.
So you keep busy writing. I assume that you have fun in all these disciplines that you're doing, singing, acting. Keeps your schedule really busy. Do you have any projects coming as far as acting is concerned in the future?
Well, I just finished a feature film called The Insomniac, and that should be coming out probably in the next 2 years. We literally just finished in December. I was just filming in December, and I did 4 features last year, so they should be coming out periodically in the next 2 years. So hopefully I will have some projects that will be coming out for everyone to see.
That's about acting and singing is
Acting.
go with it too? Would you start also in the singing? Or just, I guess you cannot combine all at the same time, right? I guess I'm asking too much. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here in Kelly Live. Her projects is four features, right?
Yes.
Last year, and there's one coming in probably in 2 years. Because it's amazing how when you do a project, a film mainly, you finish one today, let's say, it takes a long time to the post-production wise. I mean, it's the music and editing and all that. So, yeah, so we're probably, hope you come back and you're really out of your busy schedule, fine to come back again until we talk about those features in the future. About your books, so they are also coming out.
Yes.
Is any advice that you would give different from, or from your perspective? I like what you said. You have to be prepared all the time. I mean, it's not just by accident things happen. You deserve it. Would that be what it would be for young actresses or actors?
I think that the main thing that I would probably advise is to be persistent. If this is something that you really do love, it's the same thing as with anything else that you love, right? I mean, if you love a person, what do? You go after them. You ask them out on a date, and then maybe you'll take them out on another date. And it's that same concept.
And finally you marry them.
Exactly.
Oh, and that's happiness. Exactly.
Exactly.
Like that, yeah.
So it's definitely about perseverance and not forgetting what you came here for, because I think that does happen a lot, you know, between trying to find a temporary job or you know, getting disappointed from the rejections. It's something that a lot of artists, they forget why they come out here. And in that way, they lose their dreams. So I think part of it is not forgetting where you came from, why you're here, and just keep going.
And also have a very supportive parents, because that also helps. I mean, in your case, your father.
Yes.
It's great. I mean, yeah, it's great. Who, when you have bad times in life, what is that you do to get out of it?
Honestly, I play games.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How did I guess that? So that's what you do?
Yeah, you know, honestly, it's a way to disconnect yourself from work and to not think about your successes or your failures. It's more of just an entertainment. And I get that from video games, and I've also started taking Japanese, and that's also something that kind of disconnects myself from my everyday life and my routine, and it's definitely, it helps. I think it's important to have something like that, whether it's, you know, taking a yoga class or playing video games or you know, learning how to do the hula hoop, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's important to have something like that where you can routinely escape the everyday stresses and the things that can bring you down.
Do you have anything against parts that if they say somebody offers you to play a part in a movie, is there anything that you wouldn't like to do, or would say no, I can't do that part, based in whatever principles or values you have?
Well, I think that that's a challenging question because
You're prepared, remember.
there's definitely roles that I have read where when I first get the script, I think to myself, I mean, there's no way that I could ever do this. I mean, I can't see myself doing that. And at that point, that's when I take a step back and I look at the picture and I think twice about it and I realize, well, it's not myself doing these things, it's whoever the character is. So that's where it goes back to my training and my craft and kind of just realizing that I have to set myself apart from whatever character I play.
Do you think the actors nowadays are overpaid for what they do, or they deserve what they're paid?
It really depends. It really does depend. I think that there are a few people where you could say that they are overpaid, but when you step back and actually look at an actor's work, some people think that it's kind of easy. You just grab a script and just start saying lines in front of a camera. But sometimes there is a lot of work that has to go into it, and it's definitely something that could be challenging on the body, on the mind. I mean, you're playing tricks with yourself, with your heart and your emotions. You're making yourself believe things that aren't real, you know, that you're yourself, that you wouldn't really be feeling in real life. And that can take a toll on somebody that isn't strong enough emotionally or mentally. It's definitely something that, I mean, you're playing with your body, and it's dangerous territory. So I think it's well.
So it's emotionally exhausting.
It can be.
A lot of actors do die of a heart attack. And another thing, because Whitney Houston affected you somehow? Do you know? I'm pretty sure you know who she is. Has that affected anyway to you? We know that she probably died of overdose. Probably. I'm saying this openly because two of my colleagues got suspended from the radio for saying similar things, but I'm saying it more soft. But we all know that she used drugs. Did it touch you somehow?
Whatever the reason was, I think that it did. Mainly because she was young. When you get to the basics of it, she was young, and she was someone who had tremendous talent. And aside from that, she was beautiful physically and internally. She was a beautiful person. She had she radiated just beauty. And for someone like that to kind of fall in depression or anxiety or even drugs, whatever it was, it's always something that's really sad to see.
Of course.
Just like it was with Amy Winehouse or Michael Jackson, or even with some actors like Heath Ledger. You know, whatever the reason was or the cause of their deaths, it's still not disappointing, but it's discouraging. Not because of their decisions that they made, because everyone makes choices that they regret, but it's also a way to look at yourself, because I mean, it's scary. It could happen to anybody, you know. So I don't judge, and for me it was very traumatizing to hear about all of those people, because they're all very talented people, and I think that they could all be helped. So to be able to just be there for them is something that I regret not being able to do.
Romina, is there anything that you would like to say that the audience would like to know? Maybe your future projects or things that you would like to do, or you haven't, I haven't given you a chance to say. By the way, I also know that you speak. How many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak Spanish, French. I'm learning Japanese now, and I understand Italian very well. It's more conversational.
Right. Romina, pretty lady, young lady, talented, very simple, and I'm pretty sure after talking to her and seeing some of her work, promising career in Hollywood. Romina, it's been really nice to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you come next time you have your books published, so we can talk about your books, or your next, when your films start coming here. Feel welcome to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next time.